welcome to HME News TV. I'm Jennifer Kern. I'm a contributing editor for HME News. And we're talking today with Regis Farrell. He is a turnaround expert, and Michael Sperduti, who is a business growth strategist. And between the two of them, we're going to talk today about business turnarounds for companies that are in crisis. So thank you both for being here.
Glad to be here.
Great to be here, Jennifer.
Regis, let's start with you. When is it time for a turnaround? What are the circumstances that takes a company to the point where a turnaround is needed?
A couple things. One is cash flow. If the companies are generating cash flow, can't meet their payrolls, can't pay their accounts payable bills, are in violation of a loan covenant with their lender in terms of interest payments or loan covenants. Once any of those things trigger, or all of them at the same time, which is not uncommon, that's the time for the turnaround.
Now, give me an example of some of the strategies that you work with companies on that kind of help to get them back on track.
You look at a lot of different things. One, obviously, is how can we increase sales? For example, if you lose a contract on a competitive bid, it's a significant number, that all falls to the bottom line in terms of loss because you've lost that margin or that revenue. So you look at how you can increase sales. You identify competitors of your existing customers as one source. You also look at headcount to make sure you have a right size of the number of employees. I normally go back and take headcount 5 years ago by department, and then the current one as we go into the new turnaround. And I sit down with each manager and have them justify to me why we added X number of people from 5 years ago. Was it more payables being paid? Was it more purchase orders being issued? Was it more customers to service? Whatever the case may be, and you make sure that you don't cut the muscle, you only cut the fat.
And one of the things that I wanted to piggyback what Regis said is the first thing he said was focusing in on sales. I think it's really important that especially the HME community today that's going through all this turmoil, a lot of times when we cut expenses in a turnaround, that's all overhead. Sales and marketing is not an expense, and a lot of people look to cut marketing and look sales right away, and you cannot cut your way to growth. You need to sell your way out of it. So that the expenses that you should be looking to even accelerate would be the sales and marketing, because that's ultimately how you're going to grow out of the situation.
Is that a common mistake?
It is. It's huge because people, again, they start letting go salespeople and letting go, we're not going to market, we're not going to attend trade shows, whatever it is, and that's the point when you start cutting the oxygen off of the company. You're literally choking your own company by cutting sales and marketing.
What are some other common mistakes that providers make during a turnaround?
I would say the fear of letting people go because they've been there a long time versus, as Mike said, you got to do what's best and you don't cut the marketing budget or the sales budget. One of the other things you do is you look at the performance by sales executive from this year over the prior year. If they're up, things are great. If they're down, you want to know why they're down. Did they lose a key customer? Have they literally not been out there working as hard, maybe playing a little more golf than they should have? But you totally analyze each department, but the most critical one is the sales and marketing side because that drives the business.
And the thing that he said again was that the people who got you where you are today, right? A lot of HME companies, they're mom and pops, they're small businesses. The workforce is like a little family. And all of a sudden that family does not have the skill set to take them into the future. So the real hard thing to do is to make those decisions of who stays and who goes. And so that's why a lot of people turn to folks like Regis to come in to do it on their behalf because they're too close to the situation. So if you can't make those moves, bring in an expert and that will help you be able to do that.
And so the theme that I've been hearing from talking with you is, there's the nuts and bolts kind of cash flow sort of issues, but that the people part of it is a huge part of making a successful turnaround.
Absolutely, and communication is key from the leadership to let the employees know on a routine basis how well we're doing or how not so well we're doing. We got to work a little bit harder. The other thing that we institute is a bonus plan. I'm a firm believer that you share the wealth, particularly in the tough times, because everybody likes to make more money. So we put in a bonus plan that if we make our numbers every quarter in terms of our profit targets, every employee from the receptionist up to the senior vice presidents get a quarterly bonus. And when you share that wealth, it has a tremendous impact on morale and obviously work ethic because they know they're going to be rewarded for their hard work. They just have a salary or an hourly rate, and no matter how hard they work, they make the same amount of income. You got to reward the people for the results because in a tough time, you got to work harder. More productivity, more sales calls, more marketing campaigns, and if you're manufacturing, better efficiencies on the shop floor, both in the machine shop and also in the assembly area. It's a team effort.
And a lot of times, what you have is finance people thinking what he just said, like, you're going to bonus somebody? We're losing money. That's counterintuitive, right? But the way that you put the bonus program together is it's self-funded. So they have to actually see increase to the bottom line in order to share that. And so one of the things I learned from Regis is he did about a 70-30 split, meaning he'd let that growth that they would incur on the bottom line, 70% the house would keep, 30% that he would pay back into the employees. And so you got people fired up to help you through the turnaround because they're making money while they're going through the change.
Good, all good advice, and thanks to you both for being here.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us for HME News TV, and we'll see you next time.